Good day, guys. So today we're going to be learning about the order of what operation. Now, the order of operation is a very, very interesting topic in mathematics. But I will implore you to watch this video to the end because you're going to be learning a lot about the order of operation, a lot of errors that even you might not even believe. So let's watch to the end. Okay. Now, first of all, what is operations in mathematics or operators in mathematics? An operation in mathematics is just a process that combines two or more inputs and provides an output. Okay, that is an operation. Okay, so in mathematics, in mathematical problems like this, there are some times whereby we might have different operations to be performed, whereby we'll be confused of which one should we do first. Examples of operations, first of all, is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and all that. They are all examples of operations. So in a given example like this, where we have different operations, which should we do first? In fact, this is to spark a lot of debate then before the order of operation was formulated. Because in my country here, Nigeria, we might solve this and get -2. In Australia, they might get 5. In Japan, they might get 16. There will not be a problem that, why are we not getting the same result? It might be that in Nigeria, I decide to add first before I square. Or in America, they might decide to multiply first before they. Nobody is wrong, okay? Mathematically, nobody is wrong because the order of operation is not a mathematical law, it's not a natural law, okay? So because of this ambiguity, this made mathematicians to come together and agree on a convention, okay? And that convention today is known as the order of operation. So the order of operation tells us the operations we should carry out first. It gives priorities to the different operations that we have. So we have different acronyms for the order of operation. So the one I'm talking about today is BODMAS. BODMAS, this is an acronym for the order of operations. This represents the basic operations that we have and which we should perform first. Okay, so as to follow that convention. And when you do first, you're not wrong mathematically, but it's just that you are going against the mathematical standard, the agreed mathematical standard. So let's always try to follow this convention. Okay, so as not to go against the mathematics community. Okay, let's delve in. Now, first of all, what does B stand for in BODMAS? Well, I've seen this before. What B stands for in BODMAS is as simple as ABC. It stands for bracket. So this B here just stands for what? Bracket. Nothing more, nothing less, bracket. Now, what is the function of bracket? And what are the errors we should try to avoid? Now, the function of bracket is to serve as a grouper. A bracket serves as a grouper. That is, it separates some expressions from the order. It tells us that this group of expressions should be done what first, to be simplified first. That's the work of bracket. So whenever you see brackets in an expression like this, let us simplify them first. That is, you simplify the brackets. Simplify the brackets first. Very, very important. Now, there is a mistake that students do make here. The function of bracket is not just for simplification. Bracket can also act as multiplication. It can also act as what? A multiplication. Please, this statement is very, very important. That's the function of brackets in an expression. Simplify the bracket first. Once the brackets have been simplified, or once the bracket can be simplified further, then that bracket acts 100% as multiplication. It now has a priority same as what? Multiplication. What I'm trying to say is that, look at this example here. Let's say we have something like, let's say we have 6 divided by 3 into bracket 2, for example. Now let's say into bracket, let's say 1 plus 1. Okay, now look at this example here now. This bracket says that we should simplify what is inside first, right? So that means before you know that, then we're going to simplify that. Then 1 plus 1 gives us what? 2, right? We are through with that simplification. Now, when you are finished simplifying, you can simplify further. Please, this bracket now acts as multiplication. In fact, I can rewrite this as 6 divided by 3 times 2. It acts as multiplication. The reason why I say this is because many people do make a mistake and say that this bracket here means that I should multiply first. No, the bracket here is simplify first. It loses its priority when its content can be simplified further. If its content can be simplified further, it has lost its priority and become multiplication here. So whatever you do to multiplication here, you do it to this too. That means this one here is assumed to be multiplication 3 times 2. So it has lost that priority of brackets. That means this we're going to start from the left here. That's 6 divided by 3. That's what? 2 times 2. That's the answer is what? 4. Don't go and say multiply this one first because of this bracket. No, please. You start from the left here, right? So that's that about brackets. Let's try to avoid this silly mistake. Though in some cases, some people give priority to this and call it implied multiplication. There are some calculators that give priority to this, but that's not a mathematical standard. The mathematical standard, this bracket here serves as multiplication, and the correct answer is what? 4. Okay, so before we continue, let's use that idea here. Now let's simplify this because we're using this question as a guide, okay, as a reference for this to this, okay. So now in this question here, now we have seen brackets. So according to BODMAS, we have to simplify what is inside the bracket first, okay. So here we're going to have 9 divided by 2 plus 1 is what? 3. Nothing can be simplified again. Then minus 2 squared. Don't touch any other thing. Then square root of 20 divided by 5 is what? 4. Then plus 8. We are doing very, very good. Following BODMAS, we are actually correct. Okay, we're going in the right step. Now, the next one is this O. Now, what does this O stand for? This is where another, I don't know, this is where another error used to arise from, especially in Nigeria, my country here, especially in Nigeria. Now, O, some people will say that this O stands for off. Wrong. Please, I don't know where this error started from. I don't know. In fact, when I was in primary school, I heard that this O stands for, in fact, I was taught that this O stands for off. Please, this is very, very wrong. I don't know who started this error here. Please, the O in BODMAS does not stand for off. In fact, as you can see in this textbook here, it is indicated there that O stands for off. Please, it's very, very wrong. O does not stand for off, right? Instead, O stands for order. Order, not off. Off is very, very wrong. O does not stand for off, it stands for order. And that order also means power. Order means power. It means exponents, etc. Index, etc. That's what O stands for. It stands for order. That is, in an operation like this, when you see power, after simplifying the bracket, you evaluate the power next, the exponent next. That's what this O stands for. Order, not off. Okay, when we're in primary school, they said that the off they're talking about is when you have questions like, let's say, 1 plus 2 over 3 of 2. That this O means you should do this off. No, please. This off and multiplication are exactly the same thing. Okay, it's just a way of expressing multiplication in word problem. That's when you see this off. Okay, please. This off is the same as multiplication. Does not mean the O in BODMAS. Please, let's get rid of this silly error. Okay, so O stands for order. That is, we do the exponent next. Now, exponents can be in different form. We can have O number exponent. We can have a negative exponent. We can also have a fractional exponent. It means that we can have exponent in the form of, let's say, 2 to the power of 3. That we have O number. We can also have a negative form, 3 to the power of negative 1, for example. You can also have power in form of 4 to the power of 1 over 2. Doesn't mean. No matter how the power appears in an expression, we do them next after simplifying. Now, this fractional power means roots. Don't forget our law of indices. When you have fractional power, it means roots. So from this, it means that we do the power and the roots. Root is also a power, a fractional power. So when you have squares, cubes, raised to the power 4, and you also have roots in your question, you do them next after the bracket. So in this our question here, we're going to be doing the power and the what? Roots. That's order. We're doing them next. Now, before that, to understand this better, let's look at one very important example. Let's say we have something like 3 into bracket, let's say a plus b plus a all squared, for example now. So following the order of operation, right, we're going to simplify the bracket first, right? Simplify the bracket first. So here we're going to have 3 into bracket, a plus a is 2a plus b, right, raised to the power 2. Here now, we can simplify the bracket further. And don't forget, before I told you that when you can simplify the bracket further, this bracket will serve as multiplication. Okay, it doesn't mean we do it next. It serves as multiplication. So it means we can also multiply this. Okay, we can say 3 times 2a, 3 times b, serve as a multiplication, right? But it will be very, very wrong of us if we multiply this thing next. Why? Because of this power. According to BODMAS, after bracket, you do the power first, that's the order, before multiplication or division. So that means before we can multiply this, which is the function of this bracket, we have to evaluate this power. So to simplify this further, we can multiply. It would be wrong for us to say 3 times 2, that's 6a, plus 3 times b, that's 3b all squared. This would be very, very wrong of us, okay? Because we have to do the power before we do multiplication. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to expand this bracket first. Okay, you expand the bracket first, that is, you multiply this twice. You expand the bracket, multiply this twice, then the answer you get, you can now multiply next, because we have evaluated the power, expanded, then you can now multiply next. Okay, please don't make that mistake. Evaluate power before you expand brackets. Okay? Okay, so having known that, let's use that idea in this our question. So we have done the bracket, of simplified the bracket, and the next thing is the order. We should do the exponent. And what are the exponents that we have? We have square here, and we also have this root. Okay, it's also an exponent, a fractional exponent. So I'm going to be doing them next. Okay, start from the left. Don't do anything here next. Please don't do anything. Do the powers first. So you are going to have 9 divided by 3 untouched. Then we're going to have here, what do you think is going to be our answer here? Will it be plus 4 or will it be negative 4? What do you think is going to be our answer here? Now, some people will say the answer here is 4, or it is very, very wrong. This is another error, very, very wrong. Why? Negative 2 squared does not equal to 4. It does not equal to 4. Very, very wrong. Why do you think that? Because some people will say that this minus 2 squared is the same thing as saying minus 2 times minus 2. That minus times minus is plus, 2 times 2 is 4. This is wrong because you have gone against BODMAS or PEMDAS. You have gone against BODMAS because according to BODMAS, you should do power first before you do subtraction. Yes, subtraction. Now it might be like this minus here is not subtraction, it stands for negation. So it should not be affected by BODMAS. Please, this negation is also an operation. Yes, a mathematical operation. We have types of operation. We have binary operation. We have unary operation. Unary operations are operations that work on just one value. Okay, that work on one value. While binary operation is an operation that works on 2 values. Okay, takes 2 inputs and give an half output. This negation here is a unary. It's called unary. Sit on the board. It's called a unary operation. And the work of, yes, it's an operation. Yes, because it has a work here. What is the work of this negation here? Let me give you an example. Let's say we have something like negative x. Negative x. Do you know that this minus you are seeing here, this negation here has a function. It has an operation. What is that operation? The operation of this negation here means that whatever the value of x is, whatever value you get for x, will change its sign. That's the work function of this minus. It's doing a work here. It's doing an operation here, a unary operation. It means if you get x to be negative, you change the sign to positive. Or if you get x to be positive, you change the sign to negative. So it is an operation, a unary operation. So therefore, this minus 2x, this negative 2 squared here is, this minus here is an operation, a unary operation. So BODMAS works on it. Now, before you do this operation, this minus operation, you must do this power. You must do order before you do subtraction. So that means this one here, the correct way to evaluate it is, before you do the negation, do the power first. Before the negation, do the power, right? So that will give us negative 4. Yeah, so power first before the negation. That's as simple as that. But for you to get this 4 as your answer, you should rewrite, if you are to get 4 as your answer, it means it must be written like this. That is, both the negation operation and the 2 are affected by the power. Therefore, this one means we multiply negative 2 twice. Negative 2 twice, and it gives us what? 4. This is correct, but this is what? Wrong. Therefore, if there is no bracket here, it means the power is affecting only this number, not the sign here. But if there is bracket like this, it means the power is affecting both the number and the sign. As simple as that. Another error we should try to what? Avoid. Okay, are you following? Please, if you have gone this far, subscribe. I still have many things to teach us here. Please subscribe as a way of supporting me and as a way of learning a lot more. Okay, thank you very much for that. Okay, so let's continue with our question. So to continue this, it means this negative 2 squared will give us negative what? 4. Okay, it's going to give us negative 4. Then times square root of 4 will give us plus or minus 2. But let's not do that. Let us just write 2 plus 8 because our topic today is just BODMAS. Okay, that will go. If we write plus or minus 2, give us 2 answers. But let's try to avoid that for now. So let's continue. The next one is D and M. What does D and M stand for in BODMAS? Now, this D and M in BODMAS, if you notice something, you say that I did not divide them with a line. That's where another mistake is to arrive from. So people will say that the D stands for division, then comma, M stands for multiplication. Please don't do it that way. Don't do it that way. It has caused a lot of errors, right? The best way to say it is that DM stands for division and, very important, multiplication. Multiplication. This and is very, very important. Don't just say division, comma, multiplication. No, it means division and multiplication. And is very, very important. Why? Because division and multiplication have the same priority, have the same precedence. No difference between division and multiplication in the order of operation. They are exactly the same. It means that you don't divide first before you multiply. Very, very wrong. Yes, I was taught that way in my primary school. Very, very wrong. You don't divide first before you multiply. Okay? When you have division and multiplication in an expression like this, we have division here, we have multiplication here. It would be very, very wrong for you to say you divide first before you multiply. No, it would be very, very wrong. Now, what should we now do? If you have both division and multiplication in the question, you're going to do any one first, starting from the left. Very important. Starting from the left. Even if multiplication comes before division, you do that. If division comes before multiplication, you do it. Just starting from the left. Let me give us a better example. Let's say we have something like, we have 3 times 2 plus the 6 divided by 2 minus 1 times 2 plus 6 divided by 5 divided by 3, and no matter how long it is and all that. How do we do this? We have multiplication, we have division, multiplication, division, and division. According to BODMAS, people will say they'll divide first before you multiply. That means they'll first do this division first. That's 6 divided by 2. Hey, wrong. They'll now come and do this one. Divide first. 6 divided by 5. Hey, wrong. They now say the answer of this divided by 3. Wrong. Because according to BODMAS, you divide and multiply. When they are together, you start from the left. Start from the left. Okay, starting from the left. Anyone that comes first from the left, you evaluate. So to do this one here now, you start from the left. That's multiplication from the left. That's 3 times 2. The answer you get, right? That's 6. Okay, from the left, the division again is next. 6 divided by 2, you do it. You start from the left and continue 1 times 2, you do it. 6 divided by 5, you do it. The answer divided by 3, you do it. Starting from the left to right, no matter which one comes first. Please don't let us make that mistake, okay? So let me write it from left to right. So that means you start from left to right, no matter which one comes first. Even if multiplication comes first, no matter how the order is, you start from the leftmost down to the right. That's this multiplication and the division. Okay, so now let's use that idea here. Here now we have division and we have multiplication. So we don't have to do any one first. Let's start from the left. So from the leftmost part, division comes first. So we're going to be dividing. 9 divided by 3 is what? 3. Minus, not subtraction next, minus, multiply 4 times 2 is what? 8 plus what? 8. So following BODMAS, this is the correct answer you will get. Okay, please. Now, the next one is also AS. The same mistake as this one. You say you add first before you subtract. Very wrong. You don't add first before you subtract. Same also is addition and subtraction. Addition and what? Subtraction. From left to right. Also, that is when you have, after you have done the division and multiplication, you watch out for the addition and subtraction. Don't add before you subtract. Don't subtract before you add. Start from the left when you have the 2 down to the right. So in this question here now, if you say you add before you subtract, you'll be very wrong. Some people will say 8 plus 8 first, which is 16. Then 3 minus 16. Very, very wrong. Are you following? So we have subtraction and addition. No one has a higher priority. No one has higher precedence. They are the same. So you start from the left. So that means the proper way to do this is 3 minus 8. That's what? Negative 5. Then plus 8. We have done the subtraction. Okay, starting from the left. Then the last one is now negative 5 plus what? 8. Let's do the addition next. Negative 5 plus what? 8. So we're going to have what? That's going to give us what? 3 as the final answer. So the final answer of this is what? 3. Or the other way you can do it is if you can add this algebraically, as I've done here. You can do this algebraically. As you say, negative 8 plus 8, not just 8 plus 8. Negative 8 plus 8, then you get what? 3. But following BODMAS, you do start from the left to the right, no matter which comes first. So that's that about that. Now, before we go, there's one more thing I want to tell us is that whenever you now have an operation inside a bracket or you have a nested bracket, let's say you have an operation inside bracket, you have 3 plus 6 into bracket, let's say 3 minus 5 divided by 2 times 3 minus 6, and so on and so forth. When you have operations inside a bracket also, don't forget you have to do the bracket first. Then while simplifying the bracket, you have to apply the order of operation inside an operation, inside this bracket operation. That's nice. So that means you have to follow the order of operation in simplifying this bracket. As you divide and multiply first, starting from the left to the right, then you add and subtract from the left to the right also. And also when you have a nested bracket, you have a bracket inside a bracket, let's say inside a bracket and so on and so forth, nested bracket, you start from the innermost bracket outward. You start from the innermost bracket, simplify, simplify, and simplify. So that's that about that. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I've learned a lot in this. Please, if I've learned something, let me know in the comment section. Please appreciate me by subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing this video. Till I come your way next time. Bye-bye.